This episode of Tacos Now is brought to you by MediaTree. With MediaTree's gift cards, you can offer your customers custom branded holiday gift cards that their employees are sure to love. Unlimited inventory and guaranteed in-stock gift cards that deliver right on time. Free 5-day delivery for physical cards and free same-day delivery for digital gift cards. Discover all the benefits of choosing MediaTree at www.mediatreerewards.com. All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tacos Now here on Promo Corner. You are probably watching this on Promo Corner's Facebook page. You can also watch it over at Promo Show's Facebook page. And also you can find all of these amazing episodes, all of them that they've done, even on the Tuesdays that they're not focused here on Promo Corner, over at freepromotips.com. So there's a ton of places on the interwebs that you can check out this amazing show. I am super pumped about today's show. I am away from the office, but we're all still here together. So you know what? You are watching Tacos Now with Jay and Jeff. Boys, how are we doing?
Fired up. Happy Taco Tuesday, Brandon.
Ew.
We love Taco Tuesday, and we love talking about epic marketing and branding. We're looking for an awesome show today. We have a great guest. Jay, take it away.
We do. As you can see, we have Christine Shreve. Christine is not only a recent friend of mine because we were able to hang out in Fort Worth for a little while, but I've been following silently, like a lot of lurkers, and all of the work she's done. And she has a catalog of work. I mean, it's like I'm sitting here taking notes on all the things she's done just to get this intro right, and it's blowing me away. So Christine, seriously, founded Women in Garment Decorators, right? Women in Garment Decoration group on Facebook. That's kind of a big deal. Has her own podcast and video series. You're the creator and host of Women in Business, which is a really big deal. You've been in marketing. You've been around the world of embroidery for more years than I care to admit or say, and I won't say on public in a setting like this. I'll let you say that, but the truth is dozens of published articles, if not hundreds. And you're the marketing director for the Applique Getaway. Did I get that right?
Director of Marketing and Outreach for Applique Getaway and LinnyPenny.com, which is the company that the founder of Applique Getaway owns. So
I love that name.
Double
Applique.
shot now.
Nice. You got both in. Boom.
Yep.
Applique Getaway. I mean, not only is it fun and rhyme, but it's like something I want to go do, Brandon. I don't know about you.
That
Terry
sounds
Cohn's
so much fun. I love wordplay
name.
like that too. I mean, we're all marketers here, so I mean that's what we do, right? We
Hey,
entertain.
if Terry Combs says it's cool, it's got to be cool, Jeff. You know those.
Yeah.
Well, I have to add too. I love your background shots, and the word stuff, embrace kindness, and all the positive stuff gives us an indication as to who you are. In addition to the business accolades. Now, I got to do a new background.
Hey, what are you talking about? Look at my
it's
chaos.
got personality, but I want to do like, I love people, or no.
I have to get two things in here real quick because I can't take credit for either of those things that you just told me were so great. Applique Getaway was named by Lindsay Salcido. She's the founder of the show, and the word art was the suggestion of Carolyn Cagle, who helped me design my podcast set.
Nice shout out.
Because I'm a writer. So I'd love to say it was all me, but you got to give credit where credit's due.
We all need a little help along the way. Love that, Christine. That's that's another reason why you're here today, is because you have surrounded yourself with other people who have, helped you in some areas, but you've been able to shine through on all of your expertise. And Brandon, as you know, that's what we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to talk more about brilliant branding, masterful marketing, magical marketing. We're going to wrap this all up. I have a little different spin today, so I'm kind of looking forward to this. So,
well, speaking of wrapping things up, what's really cool is you take a bunch of ingredients and you wrap it up in a tortilla or a corn shell and you call it a taco. And
that's right.
If you have a taco,
let's
go ahead and get tacos up.
Okay,
tacos up, baby.
Oh, Christine's got you know what that reminded me of? I love it. It's almost like I thought it for a second. It was an embroidery sheet of a digitized taco.
If I had been smarter, I would have thought of that.
Well,
I wasn't smart enough to
I'm going to say
that.
that's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Okay.
I saw, you know, a nice little 3D work going on there. We got to get some little puff tacos. That would be cool.
You know, I know enough people who we could find somebody to do a digitized taco. It
Yes.
would not be a problem.
We finally found the person that can get us some.
You have to
some,
bribe them to
puff
come on the
tacos.
show first, and then we, you know, that's
actually
how this
the
all works.
embroidery nerds could do some killer puff tacos.
I
So
love that.
I got to talk to Jeff and Justin.
All right. So I love it. I love it. I love it.
Maybe we, you know, that's another whole take, you know, another, you know, guest take for the show, you know, the makers of the, you know, the embroidery stuff. I mean, we haven't really talked much about that, but it can fit into our subject matter.
Yeah,
of
for sure.
Branding. I mean, you know, embroidery is a, you know, key element of marketing and branding, like your PC garment there. I mean, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Jay, you
out.
take it from here.
Well, we'll see if
Well,
Brandon's got anything else for us.
Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. These guys, I am going to drop off. They're going to continue on with the conversation. Now, this is being pre-recorded, but we are going to be watching those comments over there live. So make sure that you put down any of your stories, or if you like something that you see here today, make sure you put it in there, because Jay, Jeff, and Christine will all be engaging while this is being premiered on Facebook. So I'm going to drop off now, and I'll see them at the end so we can take a bite of those delicious tacos.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That means we got the keys to the car, Jeff. What are we going to do?
All right, he's gone now. Let's just go crazy.
Embroidery. I'm so excited. Christine, thanks again for being here. It's so much fun to be able to speak with you, because I know you have such a great tradition of sharing, of helping, of educating. You bring value to every project you do. It's evident from a bystander's point of view, but as I've started to read more of your work and get to know you a little bit, kudos. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here with you on Tacos with Jay and Jeff now. And I've got some slides I can't wait to share and then talk with you. So let's do this, Jeff.
Do it.
Do it. Okay. First of all, dun, 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 dun. You have a website, and I love the fact that it says social media, marketing, and writing. And writing is tough, Christine. It is not easy for many people to do. Even marketers struggle with writing all the time. So I'm so glad that you have this as part of your tagline, punchline, moniker, whatever you want to say. It's all about you, ChristineShreve.com. Tell us, how did you get to this point?
Well, the short version of the story was COVID. And the place where I was working, where I had been the marketing director for 14 years, did not really like the fact that my doctor said, you're high risk, you can't be with a lot of people. And we tried to make it work with me at home and them in the office. Didn't work. And I finally said, this is not getting any of us what we need. So I'm going to go my own way. And I went my own way, and ChristineShreve.com, Christine Shreve Consulting, and the other stuff that I started doing, the podcast, the group, all that came from basically going, oh crap, I don't have a job anymore.
Talk about the ultimate shift. Oh crap, I don't have a job anymore. That'll kind of put a wrinkle in your neck.
So your situation was birthed from COVID. And Tacos with Jay and Jeff was birthed from COVID, right?
It was. It's true. But ours is a little less traumatic, I think. I don't know. There could be some listeners out there that might disagree with me. But Christine, you had to truly recreate your path forward. And that's not easy to do.
Yes and no, because honestly, this had been in the planning stages for a while. And I was just a little trepidatious. There's a big word for you.
Ooh, that's a writer's word.
Yes, about making the leap. And then it kind of just became, there's no way to make the current situation work anymore. So I have to do something. And this is the obvious option.
So it sounds like a lot of us go through this in different ways at different times in our lives. Sometimes the events kind of come to a dead end and we're like, well, I have to choose. I have to move. I have to do this thing. And so it's not easy though. I'm not trying to spin this as something that's easy.
No, I had a lot of sleepless nights, still do sometimes, because, you know, now I have all the freedom, but there's all, like you said, 18 projects. or 20 projects, or somebody comes to me and says, hey, we should do this, and I'm like, yeah, we really should.
I have been guilty of that same thing. Jeff and I kind of did that to start this show, when, as he alluded to earlier, and he's right, we were both kind of whining about it, and we were like, well, we should do something. And here we are, almost, well, it's not quite, it's coming up on 18 months later, and it's been a lot of fun. And we've been lucky enough to have wonderful creative guests like you. So I can't wait to share some more of this work. And I know our audience is going to love it and be able to then follow you afterwards, which is a nice benefit.
Yay.
So those that want to go visit Christine and see what she's about, of course, you can go to her website and see some of the great work. Some of the blogs are wonderful. Some of your past work that you've written, many, many publications over the years. And so in the world of embroidery, Christine is a big deal. How about I say that? Is that fair? Is that did I go too far, Christine?
I'm always a little hesitant about that, just because I don't actually embroider. I kind of snuck in through the back door, and now y'all are stuck with me.
I love it. Okay, so
I'll take it.
To clarify, you don't own embroidery equipment and you're not standing there hooping and sewing. However, a lot of your background is in the marketing and the social media and the writing of the subject. So in many ways, you're still perceived as and believed to be a subject matter expert in lots of these types of places. And that's why we wanted to have you here today, because truth be told, I was like looking for something different. We have a lot of promotional product distributors on. We've had a lot of suppliers on, a lot of service providers, and great folks. We're thrilled with all of our guests, but this was new for me and it was interesting to me. So I know of your writing background, and this is what I had to share with folks. I know it's a lot of text, but forgive me, but it says, I've been a writer since I could form letters. And I love that you are reaching back, that it's something that you've always enjoyed and been able to now apply. And I've gotten to know you as that educator and that value person, the person who gives value first, the person who wants to help other businesses grow. And then you close with, do I have all the answers? Not even close. That sounds like me, something sassy. And do I know the right questions to ask? Definitely she does. And so, Christine, this is wonderful work, and it's a great bridge to be able to then say, what I wanted to talk about was this concept of the marketer versus the maker, and how we kind of go back and forth between both business owners and sales reps and marketing agents. And I don't know, what cap are we wearing today, Jeff? You've been a business owner. You are a business owner. Some days you're the blogger. Some days you're the janitor, right?
Absolutely right. I don't know what it's, and I'm super ADD, so it makes it even harder. But right now we're right now we're talking about makers and marketers. Yeah. So some of us are making the tacos and some of us have to market the taco. And some of us just eat the tacos.
Cool. Clearly I've had too many of those, you can tell. But Christine has been able to kind of navigate between both. And that's really what I wanted to hopefully have some fun talking to you today. And that will be kind of our segue. And I give you credit again for this amazing work, because one of your social posts, Christine, was this guy. You either shared an article or something. It caught my eye and I was like, wait, what is that? So this is a kids, this is what we call stop the scroll. When you see something like this, it stops and grabs your attention and you're like, wait, what is that? And that's exactly what we need more of, in a good way, in a positive way. And so whether you meant to or not, Christine, this was the genesis of that idea, because I was stuck. I was like, what am I looking at? And it turns out what you see there, those rainbows, that's embroidery thread. That is the coolest thing ever. Why does this person not have an exhibit in Phoenix where I could go see it? I don't know why. Christine, his name's Gabriel Da, and this is from the Toledo Museum of Art. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
I have seen pictures of similar things.
Okay.
I haven't ever seen one in person, and I'm like you. I mean, Toledo is closer to me, but I didn't go see it. But
yeah.
I think what I loved about this the most is that this is one of the messages that I try to convey to embroiderers a lot, is that their work is not just a commodity, it's art. Any decorator, really. Your work is not even if you're just doing like a logo or stay curious on your shirt or something, you're adding your artistic flair to it. And a lot of people don't remember that, and they don't price their work accordingly, and they don't value it accordingly. They think it's a commodity.
Wisdom, Jeff. That's called a knowledge bomb. I told you
Yeah,
it happened.
That right there is a knowledge bomb, for sure.
Yeah, I love that, Christine. I love that you said we don't value it or sometimes see it as art, and we don't price accordingly.
Right.
Man, we could dig in on that for days.
We could.
So it sounds like you've maybe written articles about this or blog posts about this, or have you coached people with this? Where does this inspiration come from?
I've had discussions about this. Now I'm filing it in the back of my head that, oh, this is an article for somebody, or a blog post for somewhere, or a webinar or a seminar or something. Actually, you might see me talking about this at trade shows next year. Who knows?
I love it.
But the genesis behind it, a lot of the work that I do is with women. And one of the major issues that women often have is pricing their work, because women are told it's a hobby, or it's your little cottage business that you have. And aren't you cute that you think you have a business? And it's like, not everybody does that. I want to be very clear about that, but there is that attitude out there. So if you view your work as art, and you start understanding that what you put into learning how to do it has value, and you should be compensated for that, you think about how you price stuff completely differently. So
smart. So smart.
And that's just really the message that I want to get out there, because, and it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, or anybody, if you're undervaluing what you do, then you're shooting yourself in the foot, and who needs that? And this is advice I need to take myself as well. I understand that.
I was going to say, I need to apply it sometimes to this guy, and I promise not to shoot myself in the foot anymore. It's very painful, but I know that Brandon's listening right now, writing this down. He's like, oh my gosh, that was wisdom. Oh my gosh, that was so good. So you've already, treated us with some wonderful advice, insights, I like to call it, with this concept of our work is art, and it should be valued. It should be precious. We should have this non-commodity perspective at all we do, whether that's as a marketer or whether that's as a maker. It's both. For a lot of our audience, they're a traditional promotional product advocate, distributor, counselor, whatever they want to call themselves these days. Jeff, what do they call themselves? Promo kids,
promo kids, promo consultants, promo whatever, but
promo punks, swag, sassy
promo
swag,
misfits, promo swag kings, but this idea, and it's so prevalent in our industry, and I'm glad we're putting a spotlight on it, is that what we do, people see it as a commodity, and they price it as commodities. So the idea of how you can position your business and, as being worth more, because what we do for our clients does have quite a bit of value. I think it's worth, we just have our branded as it were, as a commodity entity, and the work we do and the logos that we put on and the things we do for our clients are go beyond being a commodity.
You see this and you see this, Jeff, right? And you think of art. So I love that you helped put an exclamation on that point, or an exclamation point on that point, however you say that. I can't get it right today. It's Taco Tuesday. I'm still celebrating. So, but it was my on-ramp to some of the great projects that you're doing, Christine. And I love that Jeff picked up on this as well, because again, we sometimes don't see it in ourselves. It takes someone else outside to say, whoa, this is really great work. Or you brought some special ingredient to that. We talk sometimes, Jeff and I kid about, the special salsa that we have on our tacos, that everybody's recipe is a little different. Your tastes and your likes are different and unique and fun and rare. So this is what reminded me of that. I owe you for broadening my perspectives and looking at something so mundane. And think of all the embroiderers, Christine, that have just cone after cone after cone of all the colors, and they all try to organize them. And by the way, if you name your business So Unique, SEW, it's not that unique anymore. And there's probably 50 companies that tried that, right?
Oh, there are several of them that are like, everybody will come to me and they'll say, oh, I came up with a great name. And they'll go, So Unique is one. Solely Yours is another. There are a few of them. And I'm always like, no.
Been done. It's time to.
You think you just thought of it. No, you didn't.
Yeah. Push yourself for the next page, the next chapter. Let's get more creative.
Go to the next thing, please.
I love that. Well, speaking of going to the next thing, let me get to this next slide for a second,
Sure.
because one of the things that you've done, and I can tell it's your passion, you've been working with more women in garment decoration. And so tell me about how you started this Facebook group, Women in Garment Decoration. I love it.
This actually came from a couple years ago. I had an idea to do a panel podcast with women about women's issues. Didn't have a platform at that time. So I went to Aaron and Terry from the Two Regular Guys and said,
we've never heard of them. Sorry.
Yeah, you've never
the
heard
Two
of
Regular
them.
Guys. Yeah.
Well, you didn't have a show at the time, so I had to go to them. But I went to them and I said, hey, I have this idea. Would you let me have your platform once a quarter to talk about women's issues? And they were awesome. And they said, yes.
They are awesome.
So
That's
for
so
2
cool.
years, I did 4 podcasts a year where I hosted and had a panel of women who came and talked about issues that impacted women in the industry. Second show we did, somebody said, we should really have a group to talk about these issues. And within like about 3 hours, I had made a group.
Yes. Look at you taking action.
There was a group, and it's been a group ever since. We're about, I don't even know, we're somewhere over 1,000 members now. I don't know how many.
Yeah, it looked like it was about 1,200 when I checked, and that's a big deal.
Yeah,
So,
it's a nice little group. We have Carolyn Cagle, who I mentioned earlier, the one who helped me with my set decoration. She's the other admin with me. And then we have a couple of really terrific moderators. And it's just an amazing, supportive, wonderful community. No guys allowed. Sorry.
I was just going to ask you that. What?
Nope.
Jeff, we're out. We're on the outside looking in.
When I asked the original membership, I said, do you want it to be just women? And they said, please put the little pink "No Boys Allowed" sign on our clubhouse door. So that's what I did.
Oh, that's so fun. Good for you. I mean, I support it 100%. Why not? I think I would feel just as strongly if it were positive. I would feel just as strongly if there was a guys only group talking about guys issues that isn't just, muy macho, but that they could have a place where they could go and unpack some of their feelings in an appropriate setting. However,
and that is actually, I just got to say, that is actually one of the things that I've been told most often about this group, is that it's a place that women can go and talk about issues with their families or their husbands or whoever, and nobody can see it but the women in the group.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry. They can vent, they can talk about really personal stuff, and they don't have to worry. So that's the whole purpose of it. It's not that we don't like men or we hate men or we're against men. We all love men. But
there's probably a few who don't, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, there might be some, but I don't.
That's not the point. Yeah, you're not man bashing. You're actually quite the opposite. You're supporting women. You're lifting them up. You're having discussions that they need to have in a place that's safe. And I think that's brilliant. And so there's no restriction on where they come from. Like, they could be a service provider, a graphic designer, an embroiderer, a marketing rep, a sales
from wherever,
promo, apparel.
As you have some tenuous connection to the industry, whatever it is.
Right. A little thread that might connect them.
A little thread that connects them.
Jeff, see how I did that? Come on, Jeff.
Right.
It was right there.
You're right there. Well, I do think that those in our audience, and Jay and I, for sure, we understand the power of networking, and we love the connections, and so it's just so important in business. And so when you have a niche situation like that, like Women in Business, there are several of those types of groups, and yours is focused on this decoration area. I think it's great. I think the power of networking is critical. I mean, we all can learn from each other, and so kudos to you for
thank you
driving that.
Agreed. See, I told you she would be a badass guest.
Well, and that actually was, Jeff just made a really good point, and I want to just touch
amazing
on it.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Jeff,
what was the point?
The point was networking, because part of the reason the group was formed is that one of the other things that I've talked about quite frequently, and again, no offense to the people who are out there now, but I wanted to see more women as speakers on panels. I wanted to see more women doing podcasts. I wanted to see more women being the experts on webinars. Not that, like I said, any of the people who are
sure
there now are not good and not providing good education and all that, but I just like to see a wider array of diversity. Kathy Chang talks about diversity a lot.
Oh.
She was on my show a month or two ago, and she's amazing. And that's something that I'm passionate about too, is how do we get the most people represented?
Love it.
So.
I love it. We definitely know Kathy Chang's a friend of the show, and she occasionally will have some tacos from Canada with us whenever we get together. They are different, by the way, but truth be told, Redwood Classics, amazing brand. They're a supplier in our industry. More people should know about them. The sustainability work that she's done and doing. She gave me a sneak peek of some work that she was getting ready to do about 3 years ago, and it blew my mind. I thought I'd seen everything in apparel decoration from an inkjet technology, and sorry to divert out of this for a second, but it's those types of moments where you're like, you came up with that? That is so impressive. How come? Yeah, anyway, I was just like, in awe. So all of your guests I walked through, you had so many great guests on your show. And Christine, the truth is that you're creating this platform in a healthy way that celebrates the work of women. And so I didn't really plan on our show being just like that today. I would, branding and marketing, but the truth is you've created this really fun place, a rewarding place. And a lot of the work that you're doing, it's value-based and it needs to be celebrated. So here we are doing just that. And the next slide, please, was where we got to see a little bit more of this come through live, because some of the podcasts or video series that you're doing now, Women Plus Business, or is it Women and Business? It's Women and Business,
but I couldn't find an and I liked, so I used the plus sign.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with that.
Coming up with the name.
So it create okay, let's talk about this from a branding perspective, because Brandon hasn't pulled the hook on us yet, but he will.
He will.
So it's like you can't find the and, so use the plus, but it ends up, what we have here is kind of a cool little logo and a very unique sort of brand statement where it's Women Plus Business. I mean, I don't want to like overkill that, oh my God, this is so brilliant, but it's just different. If you just did Women and Business, it's more common. What's that? True. I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said, please overkill it. Tell me how brilliant I am.
Well,
I love that.
Keep going, Jeff.
It's really easy to do Women and Business. But Women Plus Business, in the way it looks here on this page, it just looks different.
It does. It stands out.
Maybe. Does that make sense?
It made sense to me. I thought the same thing, which is why I asked, not from a clarification point of view, but I wasn't sure if by design you were saying it's Women Plus Business, like they go together, or it's equational, or
now I am, but not originally.
Well, it's yours now. You can take it, own it, and I freely give. So sometimes these, there's a few neurons still firing up there, and they tend to produce some nuttiness, but occasionally a good idea. But the best part about this was the guests that you've had, because I know you have some amazing guests. I only picked 2 of the dozens that you had on. I think you have 30 now, or you're approaching 30 shows?
More than that.
Oh my God. See,
it's probably, I don't even know. I want to say I got to be fairly close to 50 or 60 now.
Well, we won't fact check you.
I don't know. Please don't, because I would have to go count, honestly.
But the fact that you've had my good friend, Marcia Derryberry, former editor-in-chief of Impressions, she's got, 30 plus years in really taking that magazine from obscurity to, and all of her staff. And I know she's not there anymore, but she's still a dear friend, does a lot of work, still in the industry, still around. And of course, Charity Gibson, who we've had on this show as well. And Charity is of all things, a badass. She uses that term, so I will apply it to her. But for social, for marketing, she's obviously a promo kitchen chef with me as well. So, and she lives here in Arizona, so we're buds. And just the fact that these were 2 of my friends that you had on your show, and I would support them in anything anyway. But the fact that the circle of, look, sometimes you're in the writing business, another example, Marcia has never really made anything. She's never owned any decorating equipment, but she's really, really smart on all of these topics, because there's this thing called experience. And she surrounded herself, to Jeff's point, with a solid network, and she befriends people. She gives value first. She has that little teacher moment often. But Christine, you're kind of following in her footsteps and kind of blazing a new trail forward. I love it.
I'll take it. I mean, hey, if I have to say the person who first gave me my start in the industry was Nicole Rollander, who was
I
then
know
editor
Nicole.
of
Yeah.
Stitches
Stitches
which is
magazine.
no longer. But
No, but that's okay.
Eric Campbell and I joke all the time that without her, neither of us would have careers, because she gave us our start in the industry. And she was also my first guest on the podcast, because I said
that.
it worked so well last time. Let's do it again.
That's awesome. And for those of you who may not know, Stitches Magazine was eventually bought by the ASI Media Company, the publishing company. ASI, we all know.
Mhm.
And after several years, I think they just folded it up, and that's sad. But it had a good run. And Nicole is really, really bright and smart, and all kinds of fun things that she had done over the years. I got to know her through the ASI and her roles. But Christine, yes, smart move. I totally get why she was your first guest. That was brilliant on your part. So it's not all about the marketing. Sometimes it's about the making. And it seems like, again, that you've been able to kind of step in between those two worlds very, very well. So I just wanted to highlight that and make sure that that was a point. And then as we're rounding third base, heading home, you'll remember that you had some of these great guests, but guess what? You also are doing, I mean, Jeff, what is she not doing? Let's be honest. You're also involved in an event that I think is super cool. You created this event with some help, and this is what, when I needed to be corrected, you thankfully and graciously corrected me with your role. Currently, you are the director of marketing, and you are responsible in a big way for this event, the Applique Getaway. So tell us more. What should we know about this event?
Okay, well, the first thing I got to correct you just a little bit. I didn't create the event. The event was created by a woman named Lindsay Salcido back in, I think the first one was 2011 or 2013.
You're just being way too fair, Christine, because Lindsay's not on our show today, but I love it.
No, but
I love it.
She came to me
Yes.
because she was looking for someone to help her with marketing, because she's a tech person. As she will admit herself, she needed somebody to do the peopling.
I like that.
Calls it.
Peopling. Write that down, Jeff.
I can do peopling. I can do that. So she came to me and basically said, I'm looking for someone to do my marketing. If you want the job, it's yours. Or can you recommend someone if you don't want it? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, let's talk. And we talked, and I like the event, and I like her. I admire her immensely. And I said, okay, cool. So what the event is, what it started out is, Lindsay is a digitizer, and she digitized designs, and she has a huge following. And they said, we want a place where we can go and learn about how to applique and learn about this art form. And there isn't one. Mm-hmm. And Lindsay said, Lindsay's like me in that she went, oh, well, if there isn't one, I'll make one.
Gotcha.
So she made one, and it's been, with the exception of 2020 when COVID wouldn't allow it, it's gone on every year. And it's an amazing, there is a live event, and then there's a virtual event. The virtual event is actually going on right now. The live event is usually in July. And it's just an amazing group of men and women who come together to learn and to buy stuff and to perfect their art and to just drink and have fun and laugh and talk about things. I mean, I had more really in-depth, emotional, wonderful conversations with some amazing people just sitting in the restaurant bar area.
Yes.
And somebody would come over and say, because of my role, a lot of people recognize my face. So, and I'm sorry, I talk with my hands a lot.
That's okay. It's adorable.
Okay. I'll take adorable. That's fine.
Well, we recognize you for who you are, and you're adorable.
But
it's a lot better looking than this. I mean, come on, let's be real.
This.
Oh yeah, Jeff, please. Sorry, we got off topic. You were making a wonderful point.
Okay. So they recognize my face because I had done some videos about some video interviews with the vendors, and I actually did a video where I said, why are you all sitting on your asses? Go register for the show. And that went over really big because that's me. That's me. I'm like, I don't have much of a filter, unfortunately, for me sometimes. But so we had a lot. It's about community is basically what it's. That's like good. I really went the long way to get to that point. But that's the point. It's about community.
I love it. I love it. You've hit on so many great topics, Jeff. We've talked about community. We've talked about networking. We've talked about get your ass and get up and go. We've talked about makers versus marketers, and somebody like Christine. We need peopling. We need a writer. We need somebody in the middle that understands both. And how often is that true? Whether you're an apparel decorator, or you're a promotion product distributor, whether you're the owner of the company or you're the janitor, these are principles that apply. And so, man, Jeff, are we like the luckiest guys to have this show and to meet people?
Well,
like
and so is
Christine?
our audience, because they get to, enjoy this too. And the other thing too, let's not commoditize what we do. Let's rethink that thing about, that what we do is a commodity, and adding to that are the things that we can do that make our work for our clients special. It's not just like
see it,
put a logo on this.
See it as that. See it as art. See it as something we've created rather than just something it's like I don't know. I got into this conversation once with Mark Graham, not doing a name drop here, but I have to give like Christine credit where credit is due. We had this conversation. We went back and forth on this very topic, marketer versus maker. And we talked about sometimes business is transactional. And it's okay, but it's kind of transactional. It's just kind of like A to B to C, linear, done, check the box, move on. Sometimes the work we do is transformational. And Christine, it sounds like you've surrounded yourself with projects that are transformational. And that's why well, you are. It's evident. We've caught you. We caught you in the act of transformational, magical marketing, brilliant branding on all of these projects. And so I feel kind of lucky to be able to put the spotlight on you today.
Well, wow. I feel really, really good. You make me sound a lot smarter than I am, because a lot of this was intentional, but not intentional. Let's put it that way.
It was unintentionally intentional.
Yeah. I mean, I knew what my goal is always put good in the world. That's what I want to do at the end, especially when COVID was happening and everything seems so dark. What can I do that's going to put good out into the world? That's always the foundation.
Well, we're all blessed because you have, and you've given so much to your audience. And today you've given it to our audience. And there he is, the hook master himself,
Yay!
Brandon, Promo Corner.
Christine,
what's up?
Thank you so much. We needed a big movement like this. You are providing the movement. You're there helping them, whether you're the one that created it or the one that's behind the scenes still keeping it going. Everything that you're doing is phenomenal. And I hope that there are 10, 50, 100 more people behind you doing the exact same thing and following your lead to progress this industry further. Know our worth. So much in this industry, we race to the bottom, but what we do in this industry is art. What we do in this industry is so much more than just slapping a logo on something. So thank you so much for starting and keeping the ball rolling down the right roads. You're doing a fantastic job.
You guys are making me blush here.
Woo, me too.
I feel
Another
very
great show.
important all of a sudden.
Brandon, is that you, or is that just the tacos talking? That's what I want.
You know what? I had a taco in here. I may or may not have had it while you guys were talking.
Oh, seriously, you couldn't
What?
wait.
I have a printed taco, so I can't.
There's
eat
no
it,
calories
but-
in Christine's.
Christine's got a fat-free taco, man.
Yep. And I'm not eating the paper, so
I wouldn't if I were you.
no.
That is awesome. You guys, if you are just joining us, because just joined us a little later in the day, it didn't match your time, that's okay. You are always going to be able to watch these episodes over at Promo Journal at promocorner.com or over at freepromotips.com. You can check this and many other amazing episodes of Tacos Now. These guys put on a phenomenal show, and the guests, just like Christine today, are phenomenal in doing huge things. Know your worth. Go out there, check out this amazing content, and make sure that you're doing something fun in the industry. So one more tacos up from the boys. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this Tacos Now, and we will see you again coming soon.